What if we told criminals that they were responsible for reporting to the police the crimes they commit? What if we told toxic polluters that they are responsible to stop polluting, but no one would ever know if they cleaned up their act? You'd probably think that's crazy. But here's the really crazy part. State laws have made it possible for farmers to pollute in anonymity, a situation that ensures that no one will know who is polluting, what exactly the pollutants are, and whether or not they have cleaned up their act. The bottom line is that no one but the farmers will ever know if they stop polluting our groundwater and our rivers and streams. This madness has to stop. Our children and grandchildren have a right to expect an inheritance of a healthy environment. That the water they drink is clean and fresh, not tainted with agricultural chemicals. That Central Valley waterways are not a repository for the toxics that comes from growing crops. But unless you get involved, unless you raise your voice, the biggest water polluters will be given the gift of being free from having to clean up their act. They will be able to say, "We don't pollute." And no government agency will check to see if they are telling the truth. California agriculture is poised to once again get their way at the expense of the environment and the health of our children. Farms are the biggest source of pollution to Central Valley waterways. The runoff from watering crops discharges toxic chemicals into streams and rivers and into the groundwater as well. This sad state of affairs poses a continuing health threat to drinking water supplies throughout the Central Valley and Southern California. Farm water pollution has also been identified as one of the main reasons for the collapse of the Delta. And with the Delta being an ecological basket case, people who depend on having healthy commercial and recreational fisheries in the Central Valley are suffering in California and Oregon. Between 2003 and 2007, a state-run monitoring program looked at more than 300 locations in the Central Valley and found startling evidence of massive amounts of toxicity, poisons that directly impact multiple species, including humans. Here's the really outrageous part of these facts. Nearly 30 years ago, in 1982, the Central Valley Regional Water Quality Control Board, a government agency, exempted more than 7 million acres of farmland from having to comply with California's Water Quality Act. In other words, the worst of the polluters were given a free pass to simply keep on doing what they were doing. Now, according to state law, a new long-term program must be in place this year to regulate waste discharges from farms. This is absolutely needed, given the current deplorable state of Central Valley waterways. Every other segment of society must abide by rules that limit and monitor pollution, to be responsible. But California agriculture has been able to avoid those responsibilities. Rules have allowed farmers to join coalitions that shield their individual identities or identify what they discharge and what they are doing to reduce pollution, truly giving meaning to the old phrase of the fox guarding the henhouse. It's time for agriculture to abide by rules that everybody else has to follow. Unfortunately, despite the obvious damage to our ecosystems, our Water Quality Agency is proposing an extension of business as usual. Join the California Sport Fishing Protection Alliance and a broad coalition of environmental and fishing groups in a campaign to require farm owners to comply with reasonable discharge requirements to control discharges from their land. It's the right thing to do, and it's way past time to do it.